Hello, Mark. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us for another episode of your podcast. It's good to see you.
Oh, thanks, Kevin, for having me, and thanks everybody for putting up with my 10 or 15 minute little rants. Much appreciated, but I think it's a reflection of an important part of our population that I work for, and those that are most vulnerable.
Absolutely. And you can check out everything that Mark talks about on his social media, on the website, of course, Coalition for Justice and Human Rights, and the markcherrington.ca, which has the links to everything that Mark does online and shares online in terms of his work. Um, all right, so there's a particular topic that you wanted to get into here
Yeah,
that I don't wasn't really prepared for, but I'll let you have the floor, and I'll kind of and I'll jump in when I can here. So
yeah.
go for it.
I'm working with a family that I've worked for about 20 to 25 years, and it's a family that was an Indigenous family that have suffered tremendously from colonialization and intergenerational trauma. Those aren't just woke words; those are real words, and we have really tromped on a culture and rubbed it into the dust. So this family is healing, but there's a lot of barriers, and a lot of issues. But one of the things that's concerning is, and this isn't reflective of just people who are vulnerable, that have no means. It could happen to any of us. Is when someone is afflicted with mental health, and we're talking schizophrenia, severe bipolar, mania, whatever, we need those resources. And we do have some frontline resources. We have Alberta Hospital, emergency clinics, things like that. But with this family, what's really coming to light is they have a family member, a youth who in her 20s, who is suffering from schizophrenia and other issues, and she keeps being ping ponged from the hospital back to this family's house, and they have no means to control her or keep her safe or others safe, and she goes into a mania and becomes an imminent harm to herself or others. Gets ping ponged back to the hospital, usually the police involved or EMS is involved, and then again out. So last time she went in, they did what they call a therapy treatment report. And this woman, I'll just give a brief underlying, had severe symptoms of psychosis and anxiety related to an underlying uh, um, onset of symptoms during pregnancy. And this included depression and vegetative symptoms and insomnia. The client presented with catonic episodes and disassociation, symptoms of psychosis and depression, on and on and on. Basically, this human being is in a state um, where she needs constant and continual support and care. In our province, in one of the richest provinces in one of the richest countries of the world, this woman, who the family can't control, ends up on the streets because there are no supportive environment, no supportive living resources available to her. And the ones that are available, when we're dealing with many of our nonprofits and our organized charitable organizations that are supposed to work with our most vulnerable, they like cherry picking. They want the clients that have nightmares about butterflies and nod a lot and sit quietly in corners. And for this woman who isn't one of those clients, they continually refuse to help her. And they're in a position to do this because they're oversubscribed. And it's just tragedy. I attached this woman's psych assessment and I sent it to the minister, Dan Williams, and I sent it to his chief of staff. And quite frankly, if anybody in that office is watching this video, I know you know of this girl's problems. I know that you know how much in peril this vulnerable person is. And I know that you haven't done anything. And that if this lady ends up being deceased or harms or kills anybody, I believe you, Mr. Williams, and your chief of staff own some of this because You know, this woman is deserving of the supports and the structures so that she can be not only safe to herself, but to others, and given every opportunity to thrive and get over this illness. And the way the situation is right now, we have nothing to offer this family. We have nothing to keep this girl safe. The hospitals today discharged her again onto the streets. And I don't know what shape she'll be in or other people be in this time tomorrow. This is my grindstone today, Kevin, is this very vulnerable person who's being thrown onto the streets with significant mental health issues, whose family is unable to keep her safe, not unwilling, but unable. And because of our province is so gutted, our resources are so gutted in the area of mental health. Quick example, what we talked about recently is the closure in Ponoka is the latest example. She is going to be on the streets. And Mr. Williams, you are responsible. That's your portfolio. So do your job.